Need that jacket in the morning. We'll let you know, and the next chance of rain coming up on Weather Extra.
Plus, what you need to know about an unusual solar eclipse happening tomorrow, including where you can see it. And how this driver wound up in the middle of rising water as they were trying to make a delivery to a military installation.
Live on your side. First Alert Weather Extra starts right now.
And welcome into Weather Extra. Tonia, what a way to start the week.
What a way. It was such a beautiful day today, and no complaints here.
It seems like we're in a pattern now where the next impactful system, it looks like it's another weekend system we're going to have to watch Friday into Saturday for a chance of heavier rain, possibly some storms. We're going to be watching Friday and Saturday closely. So as you check in with us right here on Weather Extra throughout the week, let's keep an eye on that setup later this week. Yesterday, we ended up with over 20 tornado reports across parts of the region with that system that moved through over the weekend. It was certainly impactful. Thankfully, all that severe weather with this last go around stayed south of us, but we will see increasing clouds, feeling like spring, and that's the one thing you start to notice, those warmer temperatures showing up, highs in the 70s. Have to watch out for later on this week as we have another front that will bring some heavier rain and possibly some storms into the day on Saturday. At the moment, right now, it feels very tranquil across the state of Alabama. Fair conditions outside. We've got just a few thin clouds moving in overhead. Very stable setup right now, and at least to start this week. Now, tomorrow you will notice more clouds mixing in. That said, I still think a big drop in temperatures down into the 40s tonight, so be ready for a cold start to your Tuesday morning. You'll need the long sleeves early in the day, but even with some clouds around tomorrow, temperatures will rebound nicely. We'll see highs topping out close to 70 degrees during the afternoon, upper 60s for some of us, close to 70, but we have high pressure. It's going to be sliding on out of the picture. Well, that ridge is going to become more positioned back to the east of us, and that's going to put us underneath a surface flow out of the south. So we will see some of those milder conditions building in here over the next few days, and that south flow is also going to bring in more clouds overhead. So that's why we're calling for mostly cloudy conditions later this week. As we get to Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to be tracking a cold front that's going to move in, but notice that front as it moves in, it really starts to slow down as the main upper support with this tracks way north of Alabama, so it sort of loses its punch as it moves in, so it starts to slow, and that's where we might end up with a couple showers, but especially around the rain that could happen around Friday. But also we need to watch it as we go into the weekend, because what's going to end up happening here, we'll see eventually a potent system will move through and help bring this front through Alabama. When that happens, we're talking a chance for some heavier rain and possibly some storms, and that's why we have that first alert. I think Friday into Saturday we could certainly deal with a couple stronger thunderstorms, but there's a look at Thursday. Again, not a washout, at least between now and Friday. If you have plans, I still think we're dealing with some decent weather, and we get to enjoy some of these milder temperatures. Just a little cloudy at times, maybe a couple sprinkles in the mix during the morning Wednesday and Thursday, but the days to really watch here, again, Friday and into Saturday. That's going to be the next big chance for rain. But nice evening to enjoy out there. Again, just a little chilly here later on tonight as those temperatures tumble down into the 50s. Winds out of the southeast direction, but again, be ready for those lows tomorrow morning down into the 40s. But we'll walk you through the next 24-hour forecast, plus check in with the full 10-day. That's all coming up right here as we continue in just 30 seconds.
Welcome back in, everyone. Maybe your kids were out of school today. I'm getting you ready and them ready for that bus stop tomorrow. Here's a quick look at that forecast. Like Wes was mentioning, it's going to be a little chilly tomorrow morning. Definitely recommend grabbing a sweater or jacket for you and your kiddos. But we're actually going to be warming up pretty quickly. Again, we've got that southerly flow. Winds a little breezy tomorrow, sustained about 10 to 15 miles per hour. We'll see increasing clouds throughout the day Tuesday. We'll hold anywhere from partly to mostly cloudy skies, but mostly dry with highs nearing 70. 70 for many parts of central Alabama. It's going to be a beautiful afternoon. Maybe when they get out of school, you can go take a walk with them, get them outside, enjoy the warmth. We'll see warm conditions throughout the rest of this week, more spring-like afternoons ahead of us. But we are, of course, watching the weekend very closely for that chance of rain and maybe even a few thunderstorms. We'll give you updates and have a look at that full 10-day coming up here in just a bit. So how much rain did we get this past weekend? Well, it depends on where you live. Meteorologist Matt Daniel has a look at who got the most rain and who missed out.
Well, we had some rain yesterday. Clouds a little stubborn, but by this morning we were able to get some sunshine, maybe a little bit of fog there. This is from Hansville, from Donna. She sent this in through our WBRC First Alert weather app. Of course, you got some sunrise photos, sunset photos. Feel free to send them in. We'd love to show it right here on Weather Extra. But of course, we had a little bit of rain, not a lot though. Most of the rain fell to our south, and that kind of robbed us of that moisture. So our weather watchers sending in those weather reports, and a lot of us about a quarter to about a half of an inch. John King reported almost a half an inch of rain there in Alabaster. Sarah Porter, almost 4/10 of an inch of rainfall, and between 3 to 4 in parts of Coker, Lamar County, and into the Pinson area. So once again, always want to give a shout out to our weather watchers for always sending us their reports daily. They do a lot of great work for us. Here's a look at the estimates on radar. So obviously, if you got a rain gauge at home, your numbers might be a little bit different than what you're seeing here, but the idea is that we didn't see as much rain as you go north of I-20. In fact, Aniana, Coleman area towards Gadsden, about 2/10 of an inch of rainfall. It's really south of Interstate 20 where we had the higher totals, almost 3/4 of an inch of rain. You can really see that in green from south of Tuscaloosa into Bibb County in the Centerville area, into Chilton, Coosa, and Tallapoosa County. So those were the winners when it came to rainfall yesterday. Of course, looking at the total so far for this month, we've almost hit an inch of rainfall in Birmingham, Tuscaloosa over 1.25 inches, and for Anniston a little over a half of an inch. And so far in February, typically we'll pick up about almost 5.5 inches of rain. So we got some work to do to make up for that. Unless we don't, then we'll just end up with a deficit for the month. Of course, we'll have rain chances moving in later on this week. Of course, we'll continue to talk about that right here on Extra.
Well, one of the most active volcanoes in the world is back at it. You'll never believe how high its smoke plume is reaching. Welcome back into First Alert Weather Extra. One woman is dead, her husband missing after falling through the ice while walking their dog. It happened Saturday in Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Police say the couple's dog was reported wet and distressed but unharmed. 2 officers tried to save the couple but also fell through the ice. The officers made it back to the shore and went to the hospital for evaluation. A local fire department later found the woman dead. Her husband still hasn't been found. Crews searched for him Saturday and Sunday. The search for the man has been suspended. Rescuers are delivering supplies to people affected by a deadly storm in southwest France. So far, 2 people have died as a result of the storm. Rescue workers in the town of Floods were seen leaving shore on small boats to deliver supplies. The area is under an extreme flood warning alert. Aerial footage shows roads swamped with floods and cars submerged. At the peak of the storm, close to 1 million people were without power. An Amazon deliverer driver in the United Kingdom had to abandon their van after following GPS instructions and driving straight into rising water on a mud flat. The driver was trying to get to Foulness Island. It's used by the UK's Ministry of Defence for weapons testing. It's about 2 hours east of London. A spokesperson for the UK Coast Guard said drivers shouldn't attempt to access a centuries-old footpath for deliveries. A local farmer saw what was going on, and helped the driver recover their vehicle. Amazon says an investigation in what happened is underway. The most dramatic type of solar eclipse is happening tomorrow. The Ring of Fire occurs in only some eclipses. It's when the moon is far enough away to cover the sun entirely, but still appear smaller. That's when you can see the rays of the sun encircle the moon in a spectacular sight. You'll only be able to see it if you're one of the precious few people in Antarctica. Though many people in South America and Africa will see a partial version. And one of the world's most active volcanoes is erupting again. Mount Kilauea started spewing lava about 1,000 feet high yesterday afternoon. The National Weather Service reported smoke plumes up as high as 35,000 feet. There were no reports of ash falling to the ground, but the Kilauea volcano is located on Hawaii's island. It's one of 6 active volcanoes in Hawaii. It's been a slow ski season for a lot of resorts in the western U.S., but that's changing. As Jake Holter tells us, a weakened storm system brought much needed snow.
So excited. I'm gonna be here all the weekdays.
Mount Hood Meadows busy on Sunday after the mountain got some substantial snowfall overnight.
It covers up the rocks. It makes it easier to ski and way better for your skis not to be skiing over rocks all day.
Liam Octor skis competitively and says races this season have been few and far between.
Just because there's so many leagues, there's not enough space on the mountain because of the lack of snow. All my races have been canceled and rescheduled, so it's nice to finally get some snow on the mountain.
This past week was New Jersey native CJ Ramos's first time in Oregon, and he says at least he's able to end the trip on a high note.
Unfortunately, the timing wasn't great, but at least we got something before we head out of here. I have to leave, unfortunately, so at least we got some good inches and a couple of nice runs out there today.
Mother Nature does her own thing. You know, obviously we always put our guests and our team safety first, but yeah, we just roll with it. Our team works super hard to get everything open when we can.
Some relief in this year's snow drought, a welcome sight for the resorts.
We had a later start, and January was pretty dry, but that's like the new normal now, I would say. But yeah, now that it's February, we're very excited for more snow coming up.
Liam Linick has been snowboarding for 13 years and describes the conditions for us.
It was so icy and crusty last week. Now it's all nice. A lot of the runs are groomed. Vista jumps are perfect. It's all real nice and powdery up here. It's just all so cushy, so nice. It's just a dream. Feels like a dream. So nice. Send anything and not get hurt too.
Oh, it's been nice to see the weather get better.
All right, some lovely views you're sending me on my social media. Cody Henley sharing this lovely view from Brownville, and we've gotten some of those we'll be sharing from the First Alert Weather app here coming up later in the show. But what a view out there today with just some of those thin clouds you get at sunset time. It was 5:32 this evening, but what a view Sweet Home Alabama put on for today. But tonight, the sky mostly clear. Temperature-wise tonight, it's still going to be chilly out there. It's not too bad at the moment. You can see as the model data is lining up nicely with the current conditions. Currently we have temperatures actually showing 65 here on Red Mountain, so we're running a little bit warmer than the model data here in Birmingham, but I still think we're going to see some 40s on the map early in the day tomorrow morning. So plan for a cold start, but it won't last long. Nice warm up coming back tomorrow for our Tuesday afternoon. Went just a little bit lower on the daytime highs, right around 70, because we will have more clouds building in during the day. We've got this south flow, and it's going to keep us mostly cloudy at times through the middle of the week. We may see a couple of showers early Wednesday. I know Tonia and Matt put in a small 20% chance for a shower into Wednesday and Thursday, and we might see an isolated sprinkle or two. Just not a lot of rain. I wouldn't cancel any big plans you have. We got to watch late week for the chance of heavier rain, especially Friday into Saturday. Could have a couple of strong to severe storms this weekend we got to watch out for. Saturday's the day we need to watch for that possibility, but it's still early, so a lot could change with that, but we're seeing some signals in the model data, so we're sort of on another first alert weather day watch as we look ahead towards the end of the week. And when we go to some of the global data, this is the American model, and I'm showing you the instability for the end of the week and the weekend, and clearly as we get to Friday and Saturday, we have some instability in place across Alabama based on some of the global data. So some of the models are showing those signals, and we'll need to watch that. What's expected to happen, I mentioned this front that's going to move in later on this week, and how far south that front goes actually determines where we'll see that greatest risk set up. I think that front might actually stall out closer to the Birmingham area perhaps, and if that happens, we could end up with more of a risk down into South Alabama, but also if that happens, that could end up with a period of heavier rain for us. So that's a possibility also for Friday into Saturday. So once again, we're left with the possibility of either some heavy rain out of this or that risk of some strong to severe storms. Again, this would be Friday and into Saturday. Sunday looks like the drier day for the upcoming weekend, and that's the way the timing sets up at this point. If that changes, of course, we will give you the first alert. So here's a 10-day forecast. Of course, we got the next 7 days and an added 3-day preview there. You can also find the 10-day on the weather app, so we already put the forecast together for the next 10 days, so we go ahead and add that here so you can see it in that long-range forecast. But first up, the next 7 days we'll be watching, and we did keep that small chance of a shower in there early Wednesday and Thursday. Highs in the 70s, nice warm up into the 70s. Notice though, we go to Saturday to Sunday, a drop in temperatures. And if you're wondering when will winter return, I know temperatures rebound nicely this week, but do not put away the heavy jacket. There will be some cold mornings coming up next week. In fact, we could see a freeze threat early next Monday. Here's the thing, this is not the kind of cold that we just had in January. I'm not expecting the polar plunge, but we will certainly see a possibility of a freeze threat. In fact, as we go into next week, you can see Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, a chance that some daytime highs in the 60s will come back. So Tonia, as we look at that long-range forecast, we certainly want to stress that freezing temperatures will be possible going into next week, but this does not look like a major ice threat or anything like that. Just be ready for those freezing temperatures.
Oh yeah, Wes, I do think I'm seeing more of a trend of a colder end to the month of February, but it looks like those temperatures are trying to rebound for us heading into the start of the month of March. Let's talk about our temperature outlook. If we look here across the United States, many areas are actually on average going to be seeing above average temperatures February 24th through March 2nd. And I just wanted to stress that this is only an average during that time period, the 24th through March 2nd. We still see some really cold mornings and cold days early next week. So I want to also put that out there. Like Wes was saying, you don't want to put up that coat just yet. But as I show these trends here, you'll notice this is the 24th, still seeing a really cold morning or even a colder afternoon or evening there on a Tuesday next week. We bring in Wednesday morning and it looks pretty chilly as well. So still some mornings you're going to want the heavier coat, but as we continue and move into the month of March, you'll see a trend where those blues disappear and the reds come back all across the southeast. Could be feeling a lot warmer as we kick off the month of March. Here's March the 1st. That's on a Sunday, and this is the late afternoon, right around 3 o'clock. Seeing some warmth around and maybe even warmer as we bring in March the 2nd. So, hey, on average, we're looking above average with those temps, but what about our rainfall? Across the U.S., above average for the Midwest, but as we look across the Southeast, we'd be right around average. So we'll keep you up to date. That beyond the 10-day forecast is subject to change, but people in Northern California are bracing for what's expected to be a powerful winter storm. Forecasters say the storm will bring significant snowfall to the Sierra. Denson Cortez has more on how people are preparing.
Actually, up here, you don't know what you're going to get.
If there ever was a crystal ball on weather, it would say snow is on the way.
And it's dangerous. A lot of people come from the Bay Area and they don't understand that. When they say stay home, they mean stay home.
As a series of heavy winter storms are set to roll through the Sierra, delivering the kind of snow that brings locals to buy supplies.
I have a doctor appointment on Wednesday, and I'm worried that I'm not going to get there because I got a driveway like this. And if it gets icy, I'm going to keep on going and slide right down into the canyons.
And travelers coming through Pollock Pines can see up to a foot of snow tomorrow, and workers already preparing with a mountain of salt ready for the area.
As I'm bringing the snowblower out, I want to get it ahead of time because of this kind of storm.
We've had actually a lot of people this morning come in for shovels, and I have about 5 times this much staged in the back.
Wow, so you have more.
We have tons of shovels. We're ready to go.
Randy Bishop says his business has seen more foot traffic. More people gear up for the cold weather ahead.
And then we have our snow melt, wood fire starter, chainsaw fuel, oil.
So everything right now is gearing up for...
Everything's gearing up for tomorrow.
Yeah.
I already took my snow shovel out and put it in the front so I can shovel my way out.
You just never know. Mother Nature is in control.
Explore the wonders of weather with Weather in the Classroom. Scan the QR code now to help your kids soar to new heights with Soar with 6.
Well, just a reminder tonight to stay tuned at 7. You can catch WBRC 6 News now on WBRC streaming app with host Jazz Williams. First Alert weather, live updates, and trending stories you need before the night's over. And don't miss what's happening right now. WBRC News now at 7. You can find it there. Search WBRC in your streaming app store to download. It is our streaming app, not the weather app.
Not the weather app.
WBRC streaming app. Totally separate there, but a great way to watch us.
Yeah, have both those apps. Here's a look at that 10-day forecast. Wes, another beautiful day tomorrow.
Yeah.
Highs in the 70s.
Yeah, most of the week's actually very nice and pleasant with these temperatures in the 70s. Some clouds at times, couple showers maybe Wednesday and Thursday. We got to watch Friday and Saturday once again. It looks like the first half of the weekend could be more impactful.
Oh yeah, we're keeping a close eye on it for sure. But hey, hopefully you got out today. Do the same tomorrow. But Wes, you were out today.
I did. I got out today. It was sunny and it was time for a weather visit. And I just want to give a big shout out to Union Hill Baptist Church. This is in the Rock Creek community. The Joy group there invited me, Diane Cook, and they were such a lovely group, and we had such a wonderful time. There's Miss Diane there, and they treated me, had a nice lunch, and you could see all the goodies that we brought back to WBRC. But that is an area, Tonia, a lot of severe weather. We're very familiar, that Concord, Oak Grove, over towards Rock Creek area. So certainly always great to go talk weather safety in that part of Jefferson County, and they are weather alert. But lovely photos. That sky was on fire this evening.
Oh yeah, look at this sunrise in Hoover. Wow, these colors, absolutely stunning. Laura Britton sent that picture into us.
Yeah, we had the morning and the evening, and this was actually the sunrise earlier today. This was in Birmingham, thanks to Alexander Salter for sharing that view on the First Alert weather app.
And some pictures, Wes, are just so nice. You'd think they were a painting, like this one of a recent sunrise in Pell City, thanks to Bobby Rowe, our First Alert weather watcher.
Yeah, lovely view there. Just want to walk on across that water there. That nice little reflection there. Just absolutely gorgeous. But thanks for sharing that, Bobby. And all of our friends who live on area lakes are just showing out. And this was a view recently captured by Greg Berry, and this is on Logan Martin Lake.
Doesn't it just look so peaceful? Absolutely nice. We love that. Well, thank you for sending in your pictures.
Sitting out there with your cup of coffee in the morning.
Oh,
how
yeah.
nice, right? All right, we'll be catching you tonight. Join us for updates first at 9.